Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Leaders in CI podcast. Today, we are joined by Marcos Paganini, Senior VP and Head of Global Operational Excellence in Merck Life Sciences. Marcos has more than 30 years of experience in design and implementation of Kaizen lean systems in companies like Johnson & Johnson, Sylvania Lighting, Newell Brands, and Magneti Marelli. Marcos, welcome to the Leaders in CI podcast.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Marcos, let's start. Can you briefly introduce yourself and your background in continuous improvement?
Sure. It's a pleasure to be here, Euclides. Thanks for the invite. I have a high respect for Kaizen Institute and this possibility to share ideas and share experiences is always great. So quickly talking about myself, Marcos, I'm an engineer. I specialized my whole life in supply chain operations, manufacturing, all parts of end-to-end supply chain. And I've had the opportunity to have a very broad career going from different companies, different segments, and many different locations. Actually, I worked in all different regions in the world and different experiences as well, but mostly always involving an element of transformation, and operational excellence has always been an element of my career. Sometimes leading, designing, and implementing operational excellence, sometimes as a customer of operational excellence when I led operations directly many times in my career. So here I am.
Thank you, Marcos. And now you are in Merck Life Sciences. Can you tell me what is your day-to-day like?
Sure. Well, I joined Merck 1.5 years ago, and with a fantastic opportunity after completing 15 years at Johnson & Johnson, leading operations in different parts of the world, sometimes leading factories, sometimes leading the operational excellence strategy. I had this opportunity to join Merck to exactly elevate operational excellence at Merck Life Science. So my mandate is really to make sure that operational excellence is a core strategic foundation of everything we do in the company. So this is what I've been doing with a mix of redesigning the organization, redesigning the strategy in operational excellence, and of course, starting and implementing some key strategic programs as well. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I find that very good, really, to make continuous improvement and excellence as a core strategic foundation of the company. But we know that Merck already did a lot in this. And can you explain the situation when you joined the company? What have you found in terms of operational excellence?
Okay. So listen, Merck Life Science and Merck as a whole, Merck Group is a fantastic company, and I found really great people from the mindset point of view, but also technical side, deep in science, deep in innovation, deep in customer promise and customer connect, very ethical company. So it is a fantastic environment. And as we are in the healthcare industry, of course, that we are not starting from zero, no, in the area of operational excellence. So when I first joined, I was pleasantly surprised to see the many pockets of excellence. First thing, very solid education level capabilities across the organization, but also many good examples of operational excellence being used over the years in different sites and different situations. So that was the starting point when I joined.
Mm-hmm. And nowadays you have done a lot of work, almost more than 1.5 years. And can you explain the scope of the LSPS? By the way, LSPS means Life Science Production System. And the areas involved, generally speaking, and also what you intend to implement for the near future.
Exactly. And one of the key first steps that we've taken since I joined was the definition of a production system,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because as I said, we had lots of pockets of excellence, but what happens, and you know that as well, Euclides, is that when we
Yeah.
apply projects in isolation,
Yeah.
it's very difficult to sustain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to make it also scalable, no, in a global company. So keep in mind that only the segment that I work for, which is life science, has almost 50 factories in the world, and more than 10,000 people across the whole world. So um, pockets of excellence is very difficult to maintain, to sustain, but also very difficult to harmonize across the organization. So the first thing that I decided to do was the creation of a production system.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is one element of our operational excellence strategy, not the only one, but it's one of the elements. As you would suspect, it is a production system similar to uh, the best industry practices like Toyota production system, Danaher production system, IWS from P&G, or Johnson & Johnson production system, right? So at the end of the day, they are all very similar. So we have the elements of what we call mindset and behaviors, which is
Yeah.
our Merck cultural elements. We have the element of management infrastructure. So everything that has to do with the meetings, the rituals, the governance, the KPIs, the indicators, and the drumbeat, as I call.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we have the elements of technical systems. So all the technical operational excellence tools that we know by heart now, which Kaizen, by the way, is one of the elements, and then supported by strong leadership and digital elements. So this is the framework of our LSPS, our production system, and actually we're completing right now 1 year of since the launch of the LSPS in the company.
Mm-hmm. And I guess the scope is the 55 plants, all the plants you have.
The scope is all the plants, and I chose, there are many models, no? I've been more than 35 years, right, doing operations, and there are many models on how to start, how to scale,
Yep.
the level of harmonization you want to achieve. In this case, I chose to start from manufacturing and not end to end. So it's a conscious choice. So the focus of our production system is initially manufacturing, so the manufacturing sites. We are initially, and I made one special difference. We are also involving a few of our big distribution centers as well in the implementation. I thought important as well to include some of we have big and complex distribution centers. Keep in mind, we have lots of regulated products,
Yes.
different categories of products from a regulatory standpoint and safety as well. And so we normally manage our own warehouses, and they are heavily complex. And so I decided to bring with my counterpart from distribution, vice president, to bring LSPS also in distribution centers. So the initial focus for this first year has been the top sites. In terms of size.
Yeah.
So we have about 10 sites that cover more or less 70% of our total cost, and plus 2 distribution centers.
Yeah.
So that's been the scope now, and now we are considering how to expand to the second tier sites in the world as well.
Yeah, I see. So you consider the DCs like part of the production system. So you don't have a separate, let's call it, improvement system for DCs. It's under the same umbrella of Merck LS production system. Okay.
Exactly. And then as we are going to evolve and also bring a production system to our laboratory centers, to our innovation centers, to that, it's going to be under the same umbrella.
Okay, okay. Probably you then will add some specific tools for the different processes, not so much connected to manufacturing, but with distribution, logistics, innovation, so on. Okay.
Absolutely, yes.
I also know that you put a big emphasis in balancing results with developing the culture of continuous improvement. How do you do it? Because I guess the top management is always asking for results, but sustainability is also very important, and then you have to work on the culture. So what is your way of balancing this?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, I've been leading manufacturing at a regional and global basis as well, and of course, it's always an, I like to say end equation, right? It's not or, right?
Yes,
we are in a business, right? So we do need to achieve results. One, because of our P&L and balance sheet responsibilities, but second, because we need to fuel development, right? Research and development and new customers in the company. So we need to achieve results. And by the way, I always believe that a production system requires always an eye on results, right? A production system that doesn't deliver results is not sustainable, right? So we need to keep an eye. Of course, that many elements of a production system will ensure results also in mid-long term. I get it. So the balance of that is that we launched production system, LSPS, but we also, as part of the operational excellence umbrella, launched multiple more tactical programs. I give an example, material efficiency, so reduction of losses and improvement of material yield, quality lab efficiency. So we launched these as global programs, a bit more tactical, to generate shorter term results. We also launched standard ways to generate ideations now for cost reduction across all the 50 sites, and as part of our ongoing budget and operational reviews, no? And we have a tool for that, a framework, and everything. So it's always a balancing act, right? Working on the future, but delivering the present, no, and marrying both, right? Only short term is not good. Only long term is not good either, right? So we need both.
Yeah. So I see you have the operational excellence is the master program, and then you have the production system and other initiatives like material efficiency and so on. But in terms of the production system, what is the real target? Is it OEE, or is it related with creating the flow in manufacturing? So how can you differentiate what you consider production system with efficiency, other efficiency programs?
Yeah, absolutely. In the way we design our production system, we wanted something that really go deep in culture, in ways of working. So we want to move operational excellence from a notion of a department, a function, to a way of working on daily lives for everybody. So all 15,000 people in our organization should be doing operational excellence, right? And so we went really deep we've been going really deep in the cultural aspects. We selected 3 major elements of culture and capability, being problem solving, coaching, and standard leader work. So we call that leadership presence. So that is one major element, but then we go in a factory and we go area by area, and we call that area optimization. And we do a 16 weeks work stream that involves a team definition, a diagnostic, a selection of priorities and actions, and then implementation of those actions within these 16 weeks. And then we move one area to the other within a site with the objective to cover the whole site in 1 or 2 years, depending on the size of the site. So that's our approach so far.
I think there are many ways to implement production system and operational efficiency. What you have your own, of course, and this 16-week cycle looks like a kind of SIP cycles or continuous improvement cycles. I see the point, and also the elements of culture related to daily management, like in the Danaher system, also very important. And are you including the Hoshin or strategy deployment in the production system?
Yes, we are. Not yet sophisticated to a granular level. We do some Hoshin Kanri when we have a very specific customer related strategy, and we want to make sure that we deploy it with clear targets and objectives and the like. In terms of the overall program, we are not there yet at that level. Although we, as total end-to-end supply chain, we are making the process of defining targets, priorities, and the deployment of the priorities more sophisticated this year. We haven't yet nailed this down completely, but it's getting much better as part of our end-to-end supply chain strategy.
Okay, good. And let me ask you, what are you proud of? What achievements are you proud in this implementation effort of last year?
Yeah, well, listen, first thing, we are delivering to the savings promised, right?
Yes.
And to the targets, which I see that as delivering to the commitment. However, what really makes me proud is, first thing, the team we built, very strong team, very engaged, and the multiplication that I see today in the company. So what 1 year ago started as a project with a lot of push, today is a program with a lot of pull. So I see multiple sites and functions and leaders willing to learn more and to pull more. And I would say we have more than 300 people in the organization today that already master our LSPS, and this is multiplying now exponentially. So I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, that's good. When you start, it's kind of reaching the tipping point of deployment. When you have that kind of engagement,
it's fantastic.
And people start pooling, for knowledge and pooling for projects and doing projects by themselves. So very good.
It's contagious, right? It's great.
So, also, I know that many people nowadays talk about these big words like Industry 4.0, automation, and so on. How do you reconcile this with the continuous improvement implementation? Do you also have projects that are part of operational excellence? How do you see this in Merck?
Yeah. Well, listen, I've been long enough, right, in operations to have gone through multiple waves, no, and to also understand, right, the concepts. And at the end of the day, the combination, any company, right, and any operations to exceed, always need to have three components, no, the technology component, the process component, and the people component. Whether this is now under the umbrella of industry 4.0, or whether this is 30, 40 years ago, or even 100 years ago, these three elements have always been a combination, right, after the industrial revolution. So listen, I started my career on the 90s, no, when there was this revolution about production system, and a lot of technology at that time as well. No, automation came big time at that time, and with flexible manufacturing systems and a lot on CNCs, right, and PLCs, and you name it, right. So I am always very careful, when we try to simplify the world with two words, right? Like Industry 4.0. It's not. I don't see this as a revolution, but much more like an evolution.
Yeah.
And it's not that we go home on a Friday and we wake up on a Monday with a digital situation, yeah, right? And it's not like that we don't do digital at all, right? We do, right? It's just different levels, right, of digital. So having said that, of course, that technology now offers a lot of possibilities, and we need to be careful, right, on the choices of technology, not to be a slave of technology, right? So we need to manage that. And I have a strong belief that a technology done in isolation can generate actually more waste, right? If the processes are not designed upfront. So the way we've been tackling that is that we first clearly identify the problems we're trying to solve. We clearly do value stream mappings. We identify what I call flow breakers, right? And opportunities. And then we come with technology where it makes sense. I just give an example, Euclides. It's which I've seen many times in my last 10 years, right? You go to a site and you ask, what is your digital strategy? And then people react, oh, we want to have our daily management systems rather than manual, make it digital. Yeah. I say, and why you want to do that? Oh, to make it faster. And I say, why do you need to make it faster? So if you have 4 or 5 whys, you're going to get to the point that you don't really need that, right? What you need is really collaboration, problem solving, coaching, where at the lowest level of the organization. And then later, if this process is well designed, you can automate the process, but not initially, right? So I'm very careful. And of course, we have lots of Industry 4.0 smart manufacturing programs in our company that are addressing what we call the IT and OT infrastructure, our digital stack, cybersecurity, data science. Of course, we have automation programs, and now we are seeing how to merge production system and automation where it makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, fully agree. And I like your approach of the three elements, technology, process, and people. I also like your approach of first you simplify, then you automate. This is really typical Toyota thinking. So I guess people heard this like buzzwords, and they think, oh, that's the only thing we can do. But no, always work on technology, process, and people. It's a never-ending story because also, as you said, 40 years ago, the world was full of technology. So technology is nothing new at the moment. It's just an evolution, a modernization of technology.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Euclides, you see now people create the buzzwords, right? Machine learning, artificial intelligence, and this, at the end of the day, machine learning, artificial intelligence, they exist since I was born. I remember, right, even when I studied, and then on my 90s, right, when I start working for the Fiat Group, Magneti Marelli, we did lots of optimization projects based on modeling, and which today you could call that machine learning. The algorithms were very similar to today. Of course, the technology helps to make that faster and better with more variables, but I'm not seeing anything dramatically different. You see, just faster and more connected. That's for sure.
Thank you, Marcos. Let's move to organization. So how do you organize your CI department? Do you have
Yeah.
many people? How do you train them? Generally speaking, of course.
Well, listen, first thing, I always believe in a concept that I've been using for my whole life. A global company must have a small head and big feet. Now, and we need to deploy resources where value is created. Value is created in the shop floor, and it's created on the distribution centers, in the customer connect, that's where value is being created, right? Development centers, and not in the offices. So I'm always careful, right, on avoiding to have too many large global teams. So we have a global, you could call that COEs, Center of Excellences, that are addressing the production system design and implementation and standardization of some areas. I created also a global academy function, so that deals with, of course, knowledge, know-how, capabilities, and the like. We also created a global PMO, portfolio management, performance management, to include also scorecards, metrics, governance, and the like. And then also an organization that I call perfect execution, that is based on regions and segments of our company. And then we have teams that are dedicated to these structures to then deploy these programs and work on every day on the opportunities and issues that we have at the lowest level of the organization. So that's how it is divided now. So global, defining global standards and innovation, global programs, local and regional with the deployment and execution of the initiatives.
You have more or less how many people reporting to you in the production system?
My organization globally has about 50 collaborators,
50, yes.
But the community of excellence,
yes.
independent of reporting line, we have about, I would say, 200 members of the community of excellence, that being a continuous improvement leader, an LSPS participant, continuous improvement project engineer. So there are some different sub roles, within this community, and spanning also across the different functions, quality, planning, distribution. We have also experts in continuous improvement in these areas as well.
I see. Good. And now you know that Masaki Imai, the founder of Kaizen, he said that the most important thing is top management commitment. He was saying, and the second is again top management commitment, and the third again. So the question is, how do you achieve top management commitment? What is your preferred way, or how do you do it?
Yeah. Well, first thing I must say that one of the reasons why I joined uh, Merck Life Science is because of the commitment and the vision that was shared with me uh, uh, before I joined. So we have a new leader in end-to-end supply chain, and we have a new team that is really committed to be the best supply chain in the world. Period. We want to be the best supply chain in the world, and I believe we are in this process. And we live and breathe this every day, and we are really humble to accept that we are far away, but we are really determined to achieve that. So we have these two components of being humble, but also very resilient and determined. The way we've been doing a lot on how to convince people, how to explain, is a lot based on the three leadership practices that I called, which are, again, called problem solving, leadership presence, and coaching. So we are not, making too complicated, but these three elements, in our view, are the foundational elements to have more and more people and leadership engaged in the program, right? So a lot of coaching, a lot of one example, Cletus, is that with different levels of leadership, but talking at the highest level leadership, we did two very important benchmark visits. So we did what we call go and see. And we visited two major benchmark situations outside our industry, and one in Europe and one in the United States, that has also been another element of bringing more people on board. So that's another, I would say, approach, right, to show and bring more people on board.
Marcus, can you tell which companies did you visited? I hope it's not a secret.
No, it's not a secret. We visited Thermo Fisher in Lithuania, and actually Thermo Fisher is in our industry, right, in life science, and you see, it's a proof of being humble and when a competitors of yours open the door for you for a visit, for me, it tells a lot. It tells a lot, right? Because you are so sure about your capabilities that you are not afraid, right? It's we are in the same industry, and by sharing, like Toyota did when they went to the United States 30, 40, 50 years ago, with this belief that sharing experiences only makes you strong, stronger. So we did that, and we also went to another industry, very different, a company called OC Tanner in Salt Lake City in the state of Utah in the United States, and they are in a very different segment. They are in recognition programs. So they make medals and small recognitions, and it's a big company, actually, about $2 billion company. And both cases, wow, it was my team and our global senior management team. When after this 1.5 days visit, they said, wow, it's that was the expression, right? it's so fascinating that not only you see what it means, but you feel, right? When you feel the environment, you are really convinced that that is the way to go.
Oh, very good. Thank you. So we are about almost finishing the questions, but also an interesting question I always ask is about benefits tracking. Are you really measuring in euros or dollars? And how often? What is the level of detail you are measuring the savings, the benefits? How do you see this?
Absolutely, yes, right. Because one mistake that many companies, well, people in operational excellence sometimes do is to believe that we only need to work on capabilities, creation of belts and methodologies, but no,
Yeah.
we need to be very prescriptive, right? It's one thing, and Euclides, I'm sure you've seen that in the 90s when I also visited Toyota a few times and I had worked with them. They're also very disciplined and very, very good process engineers as well, right? So there is a lot of rigor as well, right? So both are needed, right? The rigor and the motivational aspects, right? So yes, we measure our benefits. We use Smartsheet to collect our savings and to manage the stage of each of the projects. We use it for consolidation as well, and we do review that every month. We look at the past and we look at the future projection. When we have a great idea, we use that on benefit of all the other sites. When we
Yes.
have deviations, of course, we do lessons learned using our problem solving approach. So yes, very, very prescriptive tracking.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. One last question is, I understand you have coaching as a method, so I believe that you teach the leaders how can they coach their people in terms of continuous improvement. But the question is, you yourself and your team, do you coach the leaders or not?
Yeah.
Formally, of course, you are in meetings, you talk a lot, you have the same strategy. But as a formal process of coaching, for example, do you coach the leader of the end-to-end supply chain, or do you have other people from your team coaching other top leaders? Or the approach is no, they are the ones they have to coach their own people, not ourselves. So you see
Yeah. Yeah.
the question.
Well, as it sometimes we say, right, the soft stuff is the hard stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And coaching is an easy word. There are thousands of interpretations,
Yes, yeah.
and the reality is that nobody's ever excellent in coaching. You're always learning, right?
Mm.
It's so fascinating, right? This thing about coaching, because human beings are fascinating, right? And the coaching for one person may look very different for another person, right? It's very situational as well, right? So let's remember that. Of course, we follow some structures and we've been learning. So to your question, do I coach? I coach and I am coached, right? So, and we've been, as leadership team, actually, as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, we as a leadership team, we had our quarterly strategic session um, and with the global team, and we dedicated one full day for coaching with an external facilitator. And guess what? Uh, when you do that process and you look back, you say, well, at the end of the day, it's simple. Yes, it is simple,
Yeah,
but it's very difficult.
yeah, yeah.
Because we operational leaders and top leaders, we've been used and learned all the life to be so direct and prescriptive and to give instructions, to take decisions. And guess what? Coaching is much more about making good quality questions.
Yes, exactly.
Rather than giving answers,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Exactly.
So yes, I think we are trying hard. That's how
Okay.
I would
That's good.
say, but we are in a learning journey.
Thank you, Marcos. Let's move to the last um, set of questions very quickly, what we call the rapid fire questions. What do you do to keep body and mind fit and sharp?
Okay. I do sports. I do have my personal life. I love being with my family and traveling. And my big passion, my personal big passion,
Yeah.
is really music. I play
Uh,
guitar and electric guitar, and that's what I do in my in my private time.
Very good. Next one. Do you have a favorite business book?
Well, listen, first, I love reading and I have all sorts of books. But if you ask me business book, and because we're talking here more specific about operational excellence,
Yes.
my preference and my recommendation is the Toyota Way. I think my colleague and friend, Jeff Liker, wrote the second edition. I'm not doing any
Okay.
merchandising here and marketing,
Uh,
right? I'm just saying it's a very good one that
yes.
explains the Toyota way in, I think, 14 or 15 principles. And I think it is a very good one for someone willing to understand the whole system and the concept. Okay.
Yeah, that's a classic one. Every CI leader should read.
Yes.
What about podcasts? Do you listen regularly? What is your favorite in case you listen?
Well, listen, Euclides, I've always listened a lot and I participated a lot. Now, of course, I am very intense in what I'm doing at Merck. So honestly, I travel a lot, you know, and during my private time when I'm back to the hotel, I do listen to podcasts, but they are related to music, which is also
Uh,
my passion. So that's the
of
kind
course.
of podcast I've been listening today, but not really related to business, not at this moment.
Okay, very good. And our next podcast guest, who do you advise should be our next guest for the podcast?
Well, listen, I know so many people, right? And that's been the great thing in my life. I met fantastic leaders that know a lot, and many of them much more than I do, right? If you ask me a few names, some of them you even know, but I would say Massimiliano Urbini from BD. So he's a fantastic leader and operational excellence expert. I would say Eduardo Fonseca, also a great colleague and friend of mine. He's now working at Dana Corporation. If a third name, just in case, I would say Rogerio Pacheco, who leads global operational excellence as well for Barry Callebaut in Switzerland. I think with any of these three colleagues,
Yeah,
you won't go wrong.
yeah, thank you, Marcos. And finally, if you want to address the audience, and I mean the audience are the leaders in CI, it's a peer group, anything that they can help you. Do you have any question or request for the audience of this podcast?
Well, guys, I've been 35 years right in this journey, and don't know how many more years I will stay. But we collectively we need to keep creating more talents.
Mhm.
It is really important because, amazingly enough, I would say that in the 90s, I saw much more creation of talents in continuous improvement than nowadays. I think maybe there are too many options today and talents are getting confused, maybe. And when they should know that the foundation of any company any great company or a small or big company must be operational excellence. So we need to invest more time on creating more talents. And I would say in the new era, right, coming with as well digital acumen, but also diversity as well, right? That's another thing. Young talents that see the world in a different fashion, that count on all colors of the universe, all genders of the universe, where things like xenophobia and racism and everything are things of the past, and that we are a global community. So I think this is really important, and we operational excellence, we have a role to play in this environment, because at the end of the day, what we do is all about changing people. Yeah. And we need to change people and communities for better and for a better world in the future. So that would be my ask.
Thank you, Marcos. Very good. So we finished. Thank you very much for your contribution to this community, the peer group of CI leaders. I like to call it leaders in CI, not only CI people, but all types of leadership in a company. Like, for example, Larry Culp from Danaher. It's really a leader that believes in CI and that, as we say, wears the sweater, of CI. So he lives continuous improvement. And thank you very much once again. And I wish you big success, all the best in your career and in your journey in Merck. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much. Anytime. Thank you.